Alrighty, back again. I can always tell when there's interruption because I'm talking about things that are going to fuck everyone's shit up. And I guess this is one of them. So, two things that go hand in hand between this COVID period or during this COVID period. And I'm sure if you just have a look, you'll notice the same things is nicotine and COVID. They're like this the whole time. For 5 years, we've been in the middle of a nicotine vaccination COVID government overreach paradigm that just doesn't make sense. In Australia, there's 24,000 people die a year due to smoking related. We've all heard this. This is why there's, it's unacceptable to smoke in certain things. If I go and light up a cigarette in the middle of a daycare centre, people will look at me like I'm the devil. Because of this reason, this has been sold to us. A lot of you don't understand that cigarettes were actually sold for good reasons in the exact same way that they've been sold for bad reasons. They were one of the first things to be openly marketed with the techniques used after World War II by Sigmund Freud's very own nephew, Edward Bernays. And they were hand in hand used by the suffragette movement, by the feminist movement, as a torch of glory or torch of freedom to act as a mascot towards that movement. Go and look it up. If you don't believe me, go and look it up. Right? It's not a stretch to say that these are an inhaled device, just even when the vapes came in. So from my perspective, as a smoker or an ex-smoker, the vaping paradigm was a complete liberation from this smoke. I used to wake up when I would smoke cigarettes some nights and couldn't breathe. I was certain that I had emphysema. I would literally wake up in the middle of the night and could not breathe and was convinced I was going to die. And it wasn't a mystery where that was coming from. It was from the cigarettes. I was smoking 20 or something, 25. The vaping completely cured all these things. It removed it. But I started vaping in a situation where you would go and buy juice and then someone would put nicotine in it, and that was a trusted person, and then that worked fairly well. It wasn't really any different than smoking. There was no type of high associated with it. It was basically nicotine replacement therapy. It was exactly the same. Now, it's complicated to get into the effects of nicotine, but I'm going to give it a go at describing this. And at the moment, I'm having my nicotine via these gums. This isn't paid promotion by these gums. It's just these are affordable. And they're a nicotine replacement. They don't have any of the high associated with the latecomer to the whole party, which was the disposable vapes, the Chinese disposable vapes. These were an inhaled device that swept our nation during the exact same period of time that we was trying to prevent an airborne virus. We shut down the entire fucking country for this airborne virus. We forced everybody to get vaccinations. We fucking ostracized people that didn't play ball with the vaccinations. You all know the story by now. But at the same time, this illegal black market emerged of a astronomically more effective drug. It was no longer nicotine. So this is what, if you're not a smoker, if you've just fallen into this criticism of smokers, you don't understand there is no high that comes with smoking. It is an addiction. It maybe has some cognitive things, but in comparison to the negative effects I feel from inhaling the smoke, it was always a negative agreement. It was something I was addicted to that was negative, but for some reason, it assisted with something. It's only as the smoke portion has been removed and I've gone through this process of all these things. I'll bear in mind as well that all of these things have been massively promoted. It took one thing. I'd tried the gum before. It took one thing. It was the flavor in the gum that changed everything. It's not the same as vaping. Vaping is a drug addiction like meth or something. It's a far different thing. The substance, whether it's the same substance or not, I don't know. But you should not be under any false interpretation that the government has done absolutely anything to stop this. It hasn't. These are easily purchased from everywhere, and this is acceptable everywhere. I would say that it's this is the funniest thing. It's like it's become more acceptable to vape on a disposable vape than it ever was to vape on the previous iteration of vapes, which were not a drug apparatus. So an apparatus and a chemical thing, a distribution network of an illicit substance, perhaps associated with nicotine, perhaps not, who knows, has emerged. These things could be filled with meth. I don't fucking know. How much would it, how much meth would you have to put in? 1 in every 10 would probably be enough because people share them to keep this. So it's like, there we go. Who knows? But at the time when, I can't get honest numbers or, aligning numbers on the deaths from COVID. I've seen anywhere from 6,000 to 11,000 to 20,000 all up in the entire period. Now, who the hell knows what's going on? But the statistics around smoking are pretty clear. It's on average 66 people a day die from cigarettes. And that's not incorporating the gang violence that we've seen across the entire country, because this has nothing to do with anything except for nicotine. Why? What is the underlying secret about nicotine? It is the only substance known to man that will provide you with a gatekeeping effect. It is dead simple to get people addicted, and it will keep them coming back to a place to get their fix of their drug. It is a tool that is used to control people. It always has been. As soon as we figured out how to do that. It wasn't always used like that. We were given it by native people in America. And see, the problem associated with the smoking, when they just weren't the same when you're living that type of lifestyle. These people wouldn't live that long lives. And again, my father smoked a lot. He lived out till he was 85. When you're living a tough life in these conditions, the smoking wasn't really a thing. It's more than likely that it was still used as a control thing. It was to get you back to the tribe. It's to retain. It's a tribal retention tool. That's what it is. But whose tribe are we being retained to right now? The measures that were undertaken into my personal life, into my business life, into my family life, into my reputation, all these things were completely drastic like that. And drastic isn't really a strong enough word. But I hadn't done anything wrong. The only thing I failed to do was to participate in a pharmaceutical communion at the point of a gun in what I can only describe as a mob frenzy. While at the same time I was witnessing, sweeping distribution changes of one of the most powerful drugs that I'd had contact with in my life. So cut the fucking crap. Yeah. We already know that the cigarette market has been infiltrated by Iranian organized crime units. I've already told you the association with Iranian psychiatrists illegally doing the same thing, illegally participating in religious indoctrination or discriminate, whatever you'd call it. Basically, some type of inquisition illegally being undertaken in our hospital system, with the key triggers, a lot of times being high exposure to high nicotine will give you some things. How many people are being admitted for high exposure to these vape nicotine and then going in there and then being treated as something else, going through the system of the Iranian psychiatrists, and you come out the other end as a Muslim. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? Well, we used it. We just didn't use it for a religion. We used it for a nation. If it wasn't for tobacco, we wouldn't have been able to have an empire. But we weren't anywhere near as controlling or as manipulative as this. We did control the distribution. We did, but it was based on this other thing. It was through shops that were owned outright by people. It wasn't this organized criminal element connected to something else. We don't have a native relationship with tobacco. We're the newcomer as British people to the situation. So it was always said that we were using this against Aboriginal people. And look, we probably were. But it's being used against us as well. Who are the native users of nicotine? The Arabs. The Arabs are. Now, the problem comes down to whether Arabs are Arabs practicing their religions of that time, or whether they're Muslims. But either way, why is any of this fucking going on? It's a plant. It's a really simple plant to grow. It's been used to do these things, but now it doesn't work. It's not going to work long term. There is too many concoctions now. There's too much quantity of these things, and they're all too disjointed to appropriately be used as this tool anymore. So it's going to break down. The marketplace has been flooded, and it has broken the spell. And the main spell of all is that this is a fucking neurotoxin that is dead cheap. You can eat some tomato plants and get nicotine. And so there's only one solution. It's to encourage home cultivation and home remedies. These have been pretty good, but I don't, what's involved? Do I get some tobacco leaves and stick them in a fucking big cold press juicing machine and put them in icy poles or something? Probably. That's probably what's involved. I'm not fucking around with this organized crime, this corporate fucking bullshit, this political nonsense with these fucking substances. That includes marijuana. I'm just not. Your statistics are right in everyone's face. You failed to do any one of these things successfully. So you're now no longer, a part of that in my life. It's like I've fallen for the trick. I'm 38 years old. You've got a good 20 years out of me. But it's dead. It's dead in the water. The video that was interrupted before, I said I'd been smoking weed for the last 3 days. It was wonderful. It put all of this to bed because I know that I can go to my fucking property that I own. I can go and smoke some weed, which I can grow for nothing. Dead fucking cheap. And block by block, I can build a fucking house at whatever fucking speed I want to build it. And then I will associate with the rest of the community at an outward radius and with a per choice basis of who I'm interacting with. I'm not going to interact with algorithms. I'm not going to interact with marketing conglomerates. I'm not going to interact with overlapping interests of fucking whatever political or commercial or product-based or commodity or mineral or anything is formulating to fucking coerce me into decision-making or into control, because the spell is broken. The whole thing is exposed right now. This is the end of the fucking line. These systems, these shortcuts only worked on an uneducated populace. They worked on, a system of mob rule and mob control, which I've already exposed in the social media algorithms. The systems you've created to control people are going to create 99% of the problems that we're going to face. So 99% of my job will be combating the systems and protocols that you've used to try and control myself and my family. You're arsonists, by definition. You've lit fires all over the fucking place. And then you're regulating what fires are legal and what fires aren't legal as we go into summer in the driest country in the world. No fucking fires are illegal. You want to grow tobacco, grow tobacco. If you get busted for growing tobacco, you let me know. And just the next day, every person that gets busted for growing tobacco or marijuana, one of these fucking vape shops goes up in flames. Not up in smoke, in flames. Every person that gets arrested for fucking cannabis or tobacco, a pharmacy supplying these things, goes up in flames. Every person that gets arrested for supplying or for cultivating tobacco or for cultivating cannabis, a liquor shop goes up in flames. Get fucked. Get the fuck out of our fucking system. There is no law on God's earth that governs this type of fucking misuse. It worked for a good amount of time to elevate the taxes, to do this thing, and now it's seen clearly that you are fighting a losing battle on all fronts. The only answer is home cultivation. You don't have to encourage it. You just have to take your foot off that. Decriminalisation of home cultivation. You've shown no capacity to be able to navigate this now fucking 6-dimensional combat field. So the only thing to do is to put, instead of a flag, you make it commonplace to have tobacco plants in your garden and commonplace to have marijuana in your garden. It is a worthless fucking vegetable. That's it. That's all it is. The game's up. The main reason for this has nothing to do. I've been hesitant about suggesting this because I understand the dynamics of play and I understand the people that are going to be fucking ruined by these types of decisions. They're not all bad people. It's a complicated mess. But the main reason is to put people in connection with cultivation of any fucking thing. So the same thing, the retention usage protocol that's been used by nicotine to retain people to pharmacies or to retain them to cigarette brands or to retain them to vape brands or illegal vape shops or illegal tobacco shops or illegal snuff shops or illegal fucking whatever, all these things, that's going to be reutilized within nature's garden to reacquaint people with cultivation of anything. It's the gateway drug to gardening, basically. And if we don't start fucking gardening, then the lawnmower men are going to fucking roll right over us. This is what we do. We are a country of cultivators that has forgotten how to do it. We've fallen into a system of PR and marketing that is literally the expertise of urban city dwellers. And then we're being forced into combat within that realm. It's literally no different than deciding the future of these massive marketplaces by having a wood chopping competition or a sheepdog trial to turn the tables on you all. It's not going to fucking happen. You want to run your capital cities like fucking prisons? Well, then put the fences up on the outside, and outside of that, keep the fuck in your own fucking business. The problem of cultivation of these pretty much harmless substances, especially if there's, like I said, cold pressed whatever of the fucking, get out of the smoke paradigm. This is an extraction business. This is a self-medicating, self-medicine, self-herbal bloody remedy, like traditional lifestyle that now can encompass all the plants and remedies of the entire world. And it's a very individual thing. It can only go down to cultivation. and trusted networks. I appreciate this for the meantime, and who knows? It's like it might not be worthwhile enough to offshoot, but these haven't been a problem. You can't give these away because it's not the same thing. It's the same as like you give me a pack of fucking illegal cigarettes. It doesn't matter whether they're illegal cigarettes, whether I'm not going to smoke them. I don't want them. Cigarettes have caused me nothing but fucking sorrow and pain and illness. They're fucking disgusting. The same now with vapes. I'm not going to touch it. I'd throw it out my fucking window because you've overdone it. But this can't be you know what I mean? I could do it and be like, yep, ban basically everything but Nicorette by Johnson & Johnson. There we go. There's a monopoly for you. And as I said, every person that's arrested for cultivation of marijuana or cultivation of tobacco, there's going to be one pharmacy, one fucking illegal vape shop, one illegal or not illegal, one bottle shop, one tobacconist is going to go up in fucking flames. And then we're going to decriminalise cultivation. Because I probably won't. I don't make my own carrot juice. Do you know what I mean? It creates a springboard for a strappy young chewing gum merchant to create their own thing, doesn't it? Obviously, this is precedent here. How many fields of tobacco can I grow now and make organic fucking tobacco fucking chewing gum in this country? What's the image? Do we need peasants with no shoes on, tromping on the fucking tobacco leaves to create the extract that we put in all our organic Australian-made fucking chewing gum? I'm not from Iran. I'm from here. My family has smoked in Australia for 180 years. We've learnt the lessons of the harms and the dangers of smoking tobacco. We're not going to take that into the next generation. We're going to fix those problems. And we're not going to fall into this fucking trap of these illegal fucking organised criminals. We're going to show the government what should have been done from the beginning. This isn't a product that is marketed. This isn't a product that's sold to you. It's a product that's shown to you from top to bottom. From the field to the extraction, to the manufacturing, to the processing, to the distribution. Now, the biggest decision of all is where, if I was to do this, where would I distribute this through? And I just don't know. Maybe the library. Pharmacies, no, I don't really like their business. Bottle shops, no, don't really like their business. Casinos, no, don't really like their business. News agents, no, don't really like their business. Pubs and clubs, no, I don't really like their business. I don't know. I don't know where I'd distribute it through, but distribution has always been the key. It's probably one of these things that could just be individually distributed, like door to door, like the milkman. Isn't it? And I don't see any difference. I can buy these at a pharmacy. So if I can make this in a healthier way, in my own way, my own unique way, I'll say thank you to Johnson & Johnson. You know what I mean? Obviously, my product's going to be more expensive than this. I'll say thank you for the innovation. Thank you for the persistence to get me off any type of inhaled substances and onto something that's, a little bit more balanced. And then just have an organic alternative. But it's there. I just won't distribute through these places because I don't believe it falls in those categories. I don't believe it's if it's a drug, then why isn't it prescribed? Why aren't you able to be prescribed this in prisons? When you are apparently allowed to be prescribed diazepam and then get out of prison in order to go and front a court case when you've been a member of 3 or 4 illegal motorcycle gangs in this country. We're a drug-obsessed nation. And my focus on addressing this drug obsession is to get down to the core drugs that we started this whole fucking situation with. And I think there's only really 3. There's 3 that need to have everyone's concern. One is ethyl alcohol, which is alcohol, obviously. Who knows? I don't want to be anywhere near that fucking filthy business. Nowhere near it. There's nicotine, considering possibly creating an organic extract chewing gum business. I would do that. Door-to-door distribution, maybe. Seems like a viable product. It's like a mass product. It's kind of something that seems aligned with the industrial pursuits of my ancestors. And then marijuana. Marijuana, the great leveler. The only reason I can quantify that marijuana would be illegal is to prop up an industrial revolution that is now dead. The main thing it has is it exposes people to a different time in which their exchange for their labor, to an employer kind of does a weird little backflip and doesn't align properly because they realize the value of their time and they realize that the wonder of the present moment, I suppose. It's okay to sell a book if you've got a German accent and you sit on a bench and, look at ducks for fucking a year. But if you're smoking marijuana, you should be in jail. It's bullshit. It's basically just that. People will not work as much, as hard, as dedicated to an illusion, which is what this current materialist age is, if they have marijuana. That's it. That's why it's illegal for that period to keep productivity up. In this next period when, a lot of things are being replaced, a lot of things are being made redundant or obsolete, then there's no reason to. And that you will not be able to make it illegal. It's insane. It should be the new Australian flag is to have a marijuana plant, whether you smoke it or not. Just grow the fucking thing out the front, in your front fucking lawn. And as I said, if the police remove one fucking marijuana plant from someone's front lawn, then we'll do their job for them and we'll blow up one of these fucking illegal tobacconists or one of these illegal vape shops. Because it's the same, isn't it? You go and destroy a plant, we'll go and destroy a fucking plant as well. You're interrupting the seamless autonomy and the self-reliance, the self-regulation, the self-governance of an Australian nicotine-using public, with my family being 180-year representatives of that. So yeah, maybe you could. Which would you rather? Would you rather me sell fucking organic nicotine chewing gum in a closed loop, top to bottom industry, or would you rather me sell marijuana? I don't think anyone should be selling marijuana. I think it should just be grown, and you should grow it yourself. Because anything that's I'm going to notice. You put something psychoactive in my chewing gum, I'll notice. Because as I said, the effects of nicotine are quite subtle. They're like, it's a different thing. But you put something, additive in my marijuana, I might not notice it as much because it does thrust you into the unknown a little bit, and it can have a shaky kind of thing. This is why everyone who has ever smoked marijuana has it was laced. It wasn't laced, or maybe it was, but who the fuck knows? Marijuana can just feel like it's laced, even if it's just marijuana. It's something that you should grow for yourself, and you should create a relationship with. Yeah, that's it. There should be, it should be completely a non-issue to provide yourself with your own medicine in this country. And as I said, it's the gateway to cultivation. We need to reawaken the horticultural roots of our European-based culture that is prevalent here. And this is a great way to do it. It's one of the most enjoyable plants to grow. It instantly does this thing. You commune with it in this way, and it will assist you to commune with all the other things you might want to grow, from literal tomatoes to potatoes or fucking kiwi fruit, strawberries, whatever the fuck you want to grow. It will instantly put you in a relationship with the soil biology and all these other things. Like, maybe if you have to do a registration at the local government level, so you can register your plant. That way they can keep a log of what plants are going missing, and that way they can regulate criminal behavior in the area. And, you know, if it's basically, if you can get from seed to harvest of a marijuana plant in plain fucking sight in your lawn, then your insurance value for that suburb should go fucking, your premium should go down. We could regulate entire insurance premiums based on this, because, if you know what I mean, it's right there. You make it worthless, because it is worthless. It's only really worth anything to the person using it if you're using it correctly. And these are the types of things we're not going to fucking march to your bullshit fucking drums anymore. With just human evolution plus the assistance from digital tools and things, we're going to fucking run rings around every single thing you have. If you've just let a fucking person out to have their diazepam with a fucking police guard, it's like, fuck, trust me, you got no fucking chance against a law-abiding Australian and with a smartphone. So stop. Yeah, everyone in the fucking country can see how many massage shops, how many fucking tobacco shops, how many fucking TABs, how many everything has sprung up in the lull, the bullshit fucking hostage situation you created with that bullshit fucking COVID strategy. So no one is going to fucking swallow what you're putting in their mouth. So on the day of, historic meeting, a bit of a fizzer, wasn't it? All this talk, and then it's just like, oh, we're friends. I wonder why that is. I wonder why we're friends. Now stamp the fucking Albo stamp of approval on it and say, oh, yeah, we're decriminalising home cultivation of marijuana. We're actually going to encourage it based on a local fucking registration thing through local government, local shire, because that's where we feel it should be appropriately governed. And this is to push back on Iranian influence of illegal tobacco and multinational corporate instances of supply chains of nicotine. Or don't. Or be a pussy. You know what I mean? Roll back into fucking town with your bullshit fucking story about minerals and, let the fucking grubs keep going at us. But I don't think he will. I think Albo wants to fucking make his stand, so I think that's how he's going to do it. And I wish him Godspeed in that endeavour. And there might even be a sneaky one of these under your pillow if you fucking play the game right, you know what I mean? Never fucking underestimate what a fucking fresh, crisp $50 bill will get you in this country. If I can buy the Prime Minister for that much, imagine what else I can buy. Hooroo.